What's up, Colby Sharp, 5th grade teacher. Welcome to my channel. We're talking about books, getting kids excited about books, and awesome books that you should share with the kids that you serve. Today we're gonna be talking about 10 amazing picture books, 10 books I love to read aloud, 10 picture books that I read aloud to my 5th graders during the month of February. Hopefully you can find a book or two to add to your collection. In the description of this video, I will post the link to my bookshelf on bookshop.org. That's got all of the books that I've read to my 5th graders this year. I think it's got all, I might have missed one or two, but it's got over 100 books. There's some really amazing titles, including all of the titles that I'm talking about today. Let's talk about this brand new book. It's called The Whole. It is a beautiful story about grief. This child is dealing with the loss of his brother. And he has this hole in his life because of it. But not only is he dealing with this hole, but his parents are dealing with this hole. You know, he realizes when he gets to school that a lot of people are dealing with holes in their heart. And through a great friend and through time, he is able to really kind of work through some things and kind of get his life back on track a little bit. But it's a beautiful book. It's a book that I shared with these kids. We had an amazing conversation. Such an important book. Check out The Whole. You need this book. You will love this book. The kids that you serve will be blown away, speechless by this book. Next up is the 2025 Caldecott Medal winning book, Chooch Helped. Andrea L. Rogers, Rebecca Lee Coons, wrote and illustrated this beautiful book. When it won the Caldecott Medal at the end of January, I read it to my kids. My principal bought the ebook, and I read it to them immediately that day. But then we got a copy of the book, and oh my gosh, it's a beautiful book and ebook. But this book, friends, is just one of the most, look at this art. It's just so easy to see why the Caldecott Committee fell in love with this book about a boy who is a bit of a handful. He's always wanting to help, and his sister navigating that life. It's so amazing. You're going to want to read this. You're going to want to share it with kids. You're going to want to gift this book. You're going to want to hold this book. You're going to want to read this book over and over and over again. Check out the case. Oh, it's so beautiful. Chooch Helped. Next up, a brand new 2025 book from Matthew Cordell, To See an Owl. Let's see. Do I even need to say anything? Just look at the cover. I mean, who would want to read this book? So this girl who has this teacher who is just like the coolest teacher you'll ever meet. He's all about the owls and the birding, and she gets really into it, and she has this dream. Her dream is to see an owl in the wild. And watching her go on this journey and learn about owls and try to figure them out and get a chance to see one is so precious and beautiful. And it's easy to see why Matthew Cordell is a Caldecott medalist and why this book is going to be on every single best of the year picture book list. I can't imagine a list without it. Next up, Kwame Alexander, Kadir Nelson's The Undefeated, one of the most brilliantly written poems with just breathtaking illustrations that one will ever read. Haunting, uplifting, gorgeous, beautiful, distinguished. If you haven't read this, please read it. If you haven't read it to kids in a while, please read it to kids. Absolutely stunning. Except Antarctica. It's so funny. I read this book aloud to my kids right when the book came out. I think it came out a couple of years ago, and we liked it. And I read it aloud this week, and I loved it. Like, it was so much fun. The kids were dying. It's all about, like, the narrator is telling the story, is teaching you about animals. It's supposed to be like a nonfiction book. And he starts with, the turtles live on every continent except Antarctica. And so this turtle's like, fine, I'm going to Antarctica. I'm going to hang out in Antarctica. And then they talk about all these other animals, how they live on every continent but Antarctica. And then dung beetle, they all just go on this journey where they're all going to go to Antarctica. They end up getting to Antarctica. It's hilarious. It's so much fun. And that's a great thing to do with books. Just read fun books and have fun and laugh, and smile. What a world we live in. How do you spell unfair? We're just going very different books here. We just read so many amazing books. Carol Boston Rutherford, Frank Morrison, the story of Magnolia Cox and the National Spelling Bee. My kids were very much floored by this story. They couldn't even process the idea that someone wouldn't be allowed to participate in the National Spelling Bee because of the color of her skin. and how big of a deal it was for Magnolia to achieve that and to perform so well, and how big of a deal it was for her community. That was one of the things that was so impressive to me. Like, she was like an Olympian, like hanging out with like Jesse Owens and things. Like, it was just extremely huge to her community. An absolutely beautiful picture book biography. Valentine's Day, of course, you have to read this, The Case for Loving, The Fight for Interracial Marriage, and another stunning picture book about the Lovings and how they weren't allowed to be married and live together in Virginia, so they had to move away, and eventually coming back to Virginia, wanting to be a couple, wanting to be able to celebrate their union, and the Supreme Court case that allowed for interracial marriage to be legal in all 50 states. Beautiful book. Derek Barnes, Sean Martinbow, and Adriano Lucas, Like Lava in My Veins. It's like a superhero comic book, graphic novel as a picture book. The kids are really blown away by the formatting this and just the energy. There's so much just popping off of the page. This kid gets to this school for super people, and then there's, of course, like the school for like people who don't make the best choices. Things collide, gets intense, so much fun. This book came out at the end of 2024, How to Pee Your Pants. Remember, all these books are in my list of awesome, what are they in the list? I have a lot of book lists. These are the list of books that I've read a lot of my 5th graders this year. How to Pee Your Pants the Right Way. It's just funny. And you know, like when you have a class, you're like, I have like my 5th graders just like tell me stories of times they peed their pants, like in front of all their classmates, because, you know, it's got that kind of community. And this is a funny book, and it's a fun book. And you know, if we can laugh at ourselves sometimes, maybe we won't be so embarrassed when things are hard, when things don't go our way. How to Pee Your Pants the Right Way. Check it out. It's hilarious. Corey Dorfeld is one of my favorite picture book illustrators. I think Ready to Soar, Beneath, The Rabbit Listened, just absolute phenomenal books that just touch the soul, lead to great conversations, make magical things happen in classrooms and homes. Nellie's Big Splash is her latest book. It's about this sea turtle. You know, sea turtles, they're hatched and they got to go. They got to get to the water, folks. They don't want to get eaten by a bird. They don't want to get other predators get them. But Nellie's like, no, I'm not, too scared. So very scared, unwilling to go, has to figure out a way to work through this situation, to overcome these fears, to do what's hard, to live the best life possible for Nellie. So beautiful book, a wonderful book. So check out these books whenever you get a chance. I hope that you're sharing amazing books with the kids that you serve. I hope that they love picture books as much as the kids in this class love to read and share picture books. I cannot believe we've read well over 100 picture books this year, and we have so much of the school year left. Older kids love to be read picture books. Younger kids love to be read picture books. I think everybody loves to read picture books. My name is Colby Sharp. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an awesome, fantastic